Hey everyone, today we're digging into something that so many of us are feeling deep in our bones. This idea that the whole promise of work is, well, broken. That old path our parents took, work hard, get a good job, build a stable life, it feels like it's just vanished. So let's get into why that is. This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. Look, the issue has never been that work is hard. Work has always been hard. The real problem, the one that's causing so much anxiety, is that all the struggle, all the stress, and the sacrifices, they don't seem to lead anywhere anymore. It feels like you're running on a treadmill, putting in all this effort with no actual reward in sight. And this really spells out the disconnect. It used to be a pretty straightforward deal, right? You put in the effort, and in return, you got a stable life, you could support a family, you earned respect in your community. But now, that same effort, that same hard work can actually lead to feeling more isolated, more insecure. The suffering is still there, but the rewards, they're gone. All right, so let's start with the people who played by all the rules, the ones who did everything they were told to do, the highly educated. They were promised that a fancy degree was the golden ticket to a great life. But for so many of them, they're showing up to find the doors been slammed shut. Just listen to this. It's from a 24-year-old, and they say, I was graduating from Harvard, and then I was in my parents' house in Atlanta, like unemployed. I mean, let that sink in. This isn't about someone not trying hard enough. We're talking about graduates from literally the top universities in the world, and they are completely and totally stuck. And this is not some rare one-off story. Nope. A full 23% of Harvard students were still jobless 3 months after they graduated. 23%. This shows us that we're looking at a huge systemic problem that's hitting even the most qualified people out there. The promise has been broken, big time. But look, this isn't just about new grads trying to get their foot in the door. The problem is hitting the entire workforce. It's not just about not being able to get in, it's about being unceremoniously pushed out. We're in the middle of this massive layoff wave that's completely changing everything. 170,000 in just 18 months. That's how many tech workers got laid off. Think about that. These are the people who literally built the digital world we live in, the ones who were told they were inventing the future. And now, they're watching their entire careers get dismantled over a cold, impersonal email. And this isn't some abstract number. These are real layoffs that just happened. On January 5th, GN lets go of over 2,400 people. A couple weeks later, Tyson Foods closes a plant, and poof, 3,200 jobs are gone. Then you have FedEx and Amazon jumping in with more cuts. This is happening right now, in real time, in towns and cities all over the country. And it's not slowing down. The predictions for later this year are just as grim. You've got companies like Chevron, HP, and Amazon all planning to slash thousands more jobs. And what's the big reason they give? Well, a lot of it comes down to a huge push for AI and automation. Basically, finding cheaper ways to get the work done. But here's the really crazy part. It's not just that jobs are disappearing. Even when there are jobs available, the actual process of getting one is completely broken. For millions of people, applying for a job feels like shouting into the void. So how on earth did we get here? In this section, we're going to pull back the curtain on the technology that's turned the job hunt into this automated soul-crushing nightmare. It wasn't that long ago that you could literally walk into a company, hand someone your resume, and maybe even talk to a manager. That human element, it's pretty much gone. Today, one job ad posted online can get thousands of applications in a matter of hours. There's no way a person could read all of those. So companies turn to technology. And this is the invisible gatekeeper. It's called an applicant tracking system, or ATS. It's basically software that acts like a digital bouncer for your resume. Its entire job is to scan for keywords and filter people out. It decides who even gets a shot. And it often does it before a single human being ever sees your name. So let me walk you through this madness. You spend hours perfecting your resume and apply. The ATS instantly scans it, not for your unique experience, but for an exact match of keywords. If your formatting is slightly off, or you said managed a team instead of led a team, you're out. You're just gone. The hiring manager never even knew you applied. This is why incredibly qualified people get ghosted all the time. And just when you think it can't get any more frustrating, it does. What if the job you're applying for isn't even real? Welcome to the world of ghost jobs. These are job listings that companies post with zero intention of actually hiring anyone. They do it to make it look like they're growing or just to collect a huge pile of resumes for some future use. So, how common is this? Well, get ready for this number. Some analysts estimate that nearly half of all job postings in the US might be fake. Half. That means millions of us are pouring our time, energy, and hope into applying for jobs that don't even exist. I mean, how demoralizing is that? And then, even if you find a real job posting from a real company, you run smack into this impossible paradox. These entry level jobs are now demanding 3, 4, even 5 years of prior experience. But how are you supposed to get experience if no one will give you a job to begin with? It's the ultimate catch 22. The door has been sealed shut for so many. So, okay, we've got the layoffs, the soul crushing algorithms, the fake jobs. What does all of this actually do to a person's spirit? This brings us right back to that core idea, that feeling of a struggle that leads nowhere. It's pain without any purpose. There's this old Chinese parable that feels weirdly relevant right now. It's about this gnarled, twisted tree that no carpenter wants. And because it's seen as useless for lumber, it's just left alone. It gets to grow old and provide shade for everyone. Meanwhile, all the straight, strong, useful trees, they're the first ones to get chopped down. It's a kind of a warning, isn't it? About making yourself so useful that you just become a resource to be consumed. And that story brings us to this really harsh modern truth. Just look at this chart. Recent college graduates, the people who did everything they were supposed to do to be useful, they actually face a higher unemployment rate than the national average. So being useful and qualified doesn't guarantee you security. In a weird way, it can almost make you more disposable. And make no mistake, this isn't something you just bounce back from in a year or two. The research is clear. Starting your career in a bad economy like this has damaging effects that can last for more than a decade. We're talking lower salaries for years, fewer promotions, weaker professional networks. This is creating a generational crisis right before our eyes. So, where does this all leave us? What does this all add up to? In this last part, let's just zoom out and really look at what this massive shift means for the future of work and for all of us. Because when you boil it all down, here's what's happened. The system still demands all the sacrifice. It still wants the long hours, the stress, the pain, but it's systematically stripped away all the rewards that used to make that sacrifice feel worthwhile. A stable career, a sense of continuity, a clear path to a better future. It's all of the struggle with none of the purpose. And that leaves us with this huge, urgent question. The old social contract is shredded. The maps our parents used are totally useless now. So, in this new world that's being built for algorithms and efficiency, how do we start building a future that's actually for people?